Curious about what the new year has in store for Ottawa real estate? Well, then stick around for my 2024 predictions and a much needed reality check on property values. All that and more coming up. Welcome to your January 2024 Ottawa Real Estate Market Update. It's a new year and we've got a fancy new theme song. Hit it, Andrew. All right, you can cut the music there. I think we may have overspent a little bit on that one. May have to look to get our money back. All right, let's jump right into it. As always, in the first part of this video, we're going to focus on what's happening in the Ottawa real estate market right now. We'll take a look at the sales statistics for the previous month. That would be December 2023. And then a little later on, we're gonna have some fun and we're going to make some predictions for the year to come. That would be 2024. The year that comes after, 2023. Right, before we dive in, I just wanna let you know that this month's market update is brought to you by BIC ballpoint pens. BIC pens, we sell them in packs of 10 so that you can get at least one that works. Andrew, did you ever use those BIC pens when you were in high school? Yeah. Yeah, like those chip clear plastic ones, they would never write, they never really worked. You used to have to like suck on them to get the ink to come out and then they'd blow up in your face half the time. Anyways. It's all getting a little too phallic. Let's get to the stats. We are going to start with freehold homes here. Those are homes with no condo fees. Andrew, if you could, please put those December stats up on the screen now. All right, so December, I don't know why I yelled there. I don't know, I can't even talk. All right, so December was another slow month for sales volume. There we go. Nothing new there, but there were a few small silver linings or reasons to feel optimistic for those who are hoping that things will start to pick back up a little, like this guy. All right, in December, we sold 484 freehold homes in Ottawa. That's about 24 more sales than December of 2022, which, as you know, was another very slow year. Now, December is just about always the slowest month of the year, or, you know, if it's not the slowest, it's at best one of the 2 or 3 slowest months of the year for sales. But in a typical December, you'd still expect overall volume to be higher than 484. Excluding 2022, you'd have to go back to about 2018 to find the last time that freehold sales volume was around these levels for the month of December. And that is the small silver lining I was referring to earlier. Now, if you've been watching these videos every month, you know that for the last little while, freehold sales volume has actually been right around 2008 levels. So it's nice to break away from that at least for a month. Now, time will tell if that's just a blip or the start of an uptrend. I am going to be making some predictions on 2024 sales volume a little later in this video, so stay tuned for that. Teaser. All right, now let's talk about the average selling price for December, because this is, to me, the most interesting stat for the past month, and I've got some thoughts. All right, so first and foremost, the average selling price for a freehold home here in December 2023 was about $682,000. That's about 1% lower than November, where the average price was right around $688,000, but it's higher than December of last year, 2022, where the average sale price was about $655,000. So we went from $655,000 at the very start of the year to $682,000 at the end of the year for average sale price. And this is where it starts to get interesting to me. You see a lot of people, realtors, local media, the comments sections on various social media platforms will tell you that home values were down in 2023. I think the number that I've seen thrown around is like 4.5% in the red, something like that. But here's the thing. Home values didn't really go down in 2023 as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I'd say they went up a little, right? So if you bought a home, and I'm not talking about pre-construction here, I'm talking about resale homes, right? So if you bought a typical resale home at fair market value on January 1st of 2023, right? January 1st of last year, I am quite confident that just about any agent or any person who is really paying attention to the real estate market here would tell you that you'd be able to sell that very same home today for a little more than what you paid for it. And yet, a lot of these same people are also telling you that values or prices are down for the year. So how does that make any sense? right? Now, the quick answer is it doesn't make sense. The method that these agents and journalists and whoever else are using to figure out whether values went up or down last year is that they're taking the average price of every single home sold across all of 2023, and then they're comparing it to the average price for every single home sold across all of the previous year, 2022. And because the average selling price across all of 2023 was lower than the average across all of 2022, they're saying, look, value's down, right? Only that's not how this works. Now, allow me to use a stock market analogy here, which I think does a really good job of illustrating the flaw in that logic. So stay with me here. When it comes to evaluating stocks, one of the metrics that people will sometimes use is something called a 200-day moving average. You may have heard that term before. Now, simply put, a stock's 200-day moving average just tells us what the average price of that stock has been over the course of the last 200 trading days, right? So if I wanted to calculate a stock's 200-day moving average, all I would do is take the closing price of that stock for each of the last 200 trading days and then average it out. Starting to see where I'm going here? Now, let's say that 200 days ago, you bought shares of some stock that you liked for $100 per share. And let's say that right after you bought your shares, the stock price started to come down. It went from $100 a share to $80 a share, and then $70 a share, then all the way down to $60 a share, and it just kind of stayed there for a while. But suddenly, over the course of the last few weeks, that stock got hot again and the price started shooting back up. And now today it's at $120 per share. You still with me? You bought it for 100, then some stuff happened, and now today it's at 120. Easy question here. Is your stock investment up or is it down? Andrew? Up. Up. Andrew knows, right? It's up, right? It's not a trick question. Easy. And so if I came along and I told you that, no, actually, you're not up, you're down, because that stock's average trading price over the last 200 days, right, the 200-day moving average, is below $100. So even though you paid $100 to buy it and you can now sell it for $120, the price is down, right? You'd look at me like, okay, this guy clearly doesn't understand how stocks or values work, or maybe he just needs to go and like redo 4th grade math and learn that, 120 is greater than 100, right? So I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. When someone uses the average selling price of all homes across an entire year to make a point about property values, they are completely missing the mark, right? When they do that, what they're actually talking about isn't property values. They're essentially talking about the real estate market's 365-day moving average, right? For lack of a better term. And that information does not tell us at all whether property values are up or down on the year. Right? So if you want to get a more accurate sense of whether property values are up or down on the year, you are far better off looking at what the average selling price of a home was at the end of December 2022, and then comparing it to the average selling price of a home at the end of December 2023. That will give you a far better sense of where prices started the year and where they ended. Okay? Now, big disclaimer here, this is by no means a precise method either, okay? In fact, I'd say it's still heavily flawed, okay? Like we're dealing with averages and variance and a whole bunch of other factors. Plus every home's value actually exists within a decent range. It's not a set price, okay? So again, very flawed, but doing it this way, right, start, end price, is nevertheless going to tell us more about value increases or decrease than looking at averages across a whole year. So, long story short, if you want to know whether your home's value is up or down on the year or over any period of time, all you have to do is look at what you paid for the home and then what it's worth today. And if today's number is the bigger of the two, then you're up, and vice versa. It doesn't have to be all that complicated, right? Unless you're some sort of a freaking time traveler, you can't go back and sell your home at different points in the year, right? And so what your home may have been worth in, say, April or July or at any other time that isn't today is irrelevant to its value. In other words, we don't look at the whole graph. We take the start point and the end point That's it. It's literally elementary level math. Which number is the biggest number? That's all there is to it, okay? So the next time you see some clickbait article or you hear some realtor on their paid weekly TV or radio segment being all dramatic and telling you that, people who live in neighborhood X were the big winners last year because values went up like 9% there. And then the people who live in neighborhood Y, just beside neighborhood X, were the big losers because values were down 11% or whatever. Just ignore it, swipe left, move on. Well, that was quite the tangent. Andrew, did you learn something there? Yeah, okay. I'm not going to test you on it, but I'm glad you learned something. All right, let's quickly close out the Freehold Stats here. Inventory, which I will remind you is a measure of both supply and demand, came down from 4.6 months in November to 4.2 months in December. If you remember our last update, I predicted that this would happen. Now, the reason inventory came down last month isn't necessarily because demand outpaced supply in December, but more likely it's because December is a month where a lot of sellers whose homes didn't sell decide to call it quits, take their homes off the market, right? So a lot of inventory leaves the market without having sold. Quick little tidbit for you here as well. When a home is listed on MLS, it has a days on market field, right? And in order to reset that days on market counter to 0, the home has to come off MLS for a minimum of 45 consecutive days before it's relisted for sale, regardless of whether you change agents or not. So because December and January are like typically these slow real estate months with a lot of other stuff going on, it ends up being the perfect time of year for a lot of sellers to take their homes off the market, give themselves a chance to breathe a bit, and then relist in the new year with a nice fresh 0 in their days on market field, right? Makes the listing look more appealing to buyers than if the days on market field is like 200 or whatever, right? Wrapping up for Freehold here, homes that sold in December on average took 47 days to sell and went for 97.3% of their asking price. Nothing really noteworthy there. All right, now let's quickly zip through the condo stats and then we're gonna have some fun with some predictions. Andrew, let's get those condo stats up on the screen. All right, so in December, we sold a total of 152 condos in Ottawa. That's also a relatively low number when compared to past years, but it is higher than last December, 2022, where we sold just 135 condos. Now, excluding 2022, you'd have to go back to about 2016 to find the last time that condo sales volume was around these levels for the month of December. The average sale price for condos in December 2023 was $431,000. So if you've been watching these updates, you know that the average monthly sale price for condos spent all of 2023 bouncing around between that kind of $410K and $450K range. So it's pretty fitting that we close the year right around the midpoint of that same range. Condos don't typically have a ton of significant outdoor living space, and so seasonal factors don't necessarily impact them the same way they do freehold homes, meaning it's not all that surprising to see the condo price graph stay relatively consistent all year as opposed to the sort of curved chart that we will often see for freehold. And for that same reason, also wasn't too surprising to see that condo inventory also stayed pretty consistent in December, closing at 3.5 months of total inventory compared to 3.6 months in November. Again, a lot easier for buyers to picture what a balcony or a small terrace might look like without snow than some big landscape yard. Right. Last but not least, closing out the condo stats here, units that sold in December on average went for 97.7% of their list price, and they took about 38 days to sell. All right, so that does it for the first part of this month's update. I think that was pretty good. We looked at the stats, we got a little rant in, we made fun of big pens, we sang a song. All in all, a good start. But now, let's have some fun and let's make some predictions for the real estate market in 2024. Now, before I give you my predictions, and I promise I'll give them to you, but before I do, I want to be crystal clear here, as crystal clear as a Bic pen. These are just meant to be for fun, okay? These predictions are things that I think could happen in 2024. They're my best guesses. If you wanted to be nice to me, you might even say they're educated guesses, but that's really all they are, at best. All right, so if you're going to make a real estate move in 2024, please base it on facts and not speculation, all right? Like, don't speculate, real estate. Andrew, that's a pretty good slogan. We can make that our next t-shirt. So let's get to it. So these are my predictions for the real estate market in 2024. And I highly encourage you to save this video so that we can all come back here together this time next year and see if I got any of them right, okay? Also, Andrew doesn't know this yet, but we'll be asking him for his predictions too. What do you think of that, Andrew? We'll see if he gets more of them right than I do. All right, so we're gonna start off with everyone's favorite topic here, interest rates. All right, so just to give you some context, according to the data at wowa.ca, that's WOWA.ca, the current average right now, January 1st, current average 5-year fixed mortgage rate in Ontario is 5.77%, and the current average 5-year variable rate is at 6.82%. Also, quick note, WOWA's data is mostly focused on the big banks, and you can likely find better rates than the ones I just quoted if you shop around. Okay, having said that, here are my 3 predictions for interest rates in 2024, again, based on WOWA's data. Prediction number 1, okay, and this one is gonna be one of my bolder predictions, but I predict that the average 5-year fixed rate will remain lower than the 5-year variable rate throughout all of 2024. All right, now typically you'd find the opposite. Fixed rates tend to be higher than variable rates most of the time, but we're in this inverted yield curve environment right now, and I believe that that will continue as far as mortgage rates go throughout all of 2024. Andrew, your turn. Do you agree or disagree with that prediction?
Agree.
Andrew agrees. All right, Andrew and I are on the same page as usual, and it's not just because I pay him. Prediction number 2. I predict that the Bank of Canada will not increase interest rates in 2024, and I also predict that we will see 3 rate cuts throughout the year, totaling between 1 and 1.5%. If I'm right about that, it means that the average 5-year variable mortgage rate at the end of 2024 will be somewhere between 5.32% and 5.82%. So let's ask Andrew. Once again, Andrew, I am predicting that the Bank of Canada will cut interest rates by 1 to 1.5% total in 2024. If you had to pick an over or an under on that, which one would you go?
Under.
Oh, you're going under. Andrew's bearish on the market. Okay. Third and final prediction with regards to interest rates. I predict that the average 5-year fixed rate at the end of 2024 will be somewhere between 4.5% and 5%. So average fixed mortgage rate at the end of 2024 between 4.5% and 5%. Andrew, once again, over or under?
Over.
Oh, Andrew does not think the market's going to do well next year. All right, Andrew's a bear. I'm a bull. So Andrew's picking the over. All right, now my next 2 predictions have to do with sales volume. Again, giving you some context here. In 2023, we sold a total of 13,669 homes in Ottawa. That's condo and freehold combined, and it's based on MLS data. So the number doesn't include most pre-construction. Okay, so my 4th prediction for 2024 is that we're going to go from selling 13,669 homes in 2023 to selling between 16,000 and 17,000 total homes in Ottawa in 2024. All right, so significantly more. I think real estate is going to make a comeback in 2024. So Andrew, once again, I'm saying 16,000 to 17,000 sales. You taking the over or the under?
Over.
Oh, he's taking the over. So you think we're going to sell a lot even though interest rates are going to stay high. All right, interesting. Very interesting. Also, in 2023, roughly 25% of the homes sold on MLS were condos. The other 76% or so were freehold. All right, so that brings us to my 5th prediction, which is that I think in 2024, we are going to see condos make up over 30% of the homes sold because of affordability reasons. All right, Andrew, condos, 30% of the total homes sold. Over or under? Over, wow. So Andrew's, okay, so he's bullish on condos, bearish on interest rates, bullish on condos. So now that's 5 predictions. I think we got a few more in us here. So let's tackle inventory next, and then we'll finish with prices, which I think is the big one. All right, so in 2023, the highest monthly inventory level we saw in freehold homes happened at the end of November, where we were sitting on 4.6 months of inventory. So my 6th prediction for this year is that freehold inventory levels will stay below 4 months for the entire year. So we will not end any single month with inventory being above 4. Andrew, 0 months in 2024 where freehold inventory is above 4. Are you agreeing with that one, or are you taking the other side?
Agreeing.
Andrew agrees. All right. He's all over the map with his predictions, but that's okay. I didn't give any time to prepare for this, to be fair. All right, next, staying with inventory, the highest monthly condo inventory level we saw in 2023 was in January, so January 2023, where we were sitting at 3.8 months of condo inventory. I'm gonna stay consistent here, say that with my 7th prediction, I will predict that we will finish below 3.8 months of condo inventory for every single month in 2024. Okay, so we will never pass 3.8 months of condo inventory in 2024. Andrew, agree or disagree?
Agree.
Andrew agrees. All right, again, he's all over the map. It's hard to keep up with Andrew. All right, so my lucky number is 9. This also happens to be my 9th year in real estate, and so it feels right that we do 2 more predictions to bring our total to 9. For our last 2 predictions, we're going to tackle home prices. I told you that the average price of a freehold home sold in December 2023 was $682,000. In total, we had 3 months last year where the average selling price for freehold homes came in below $700K. Those months were January, November, and December. So my 8th prediction here is that the monthly average sale price for freehold homes will not fall below $700K in any single month throughout 2024. Now, I'll be honest, this January worries me a little. I think that's where I may lose this bet, so to speak, but January's average comes in north of 700K. Watch out, I think we'll be off to the races. Andrew, you disagree or agree with that one?
Agree.
Oh, Andrew agrees. All right, Andrew is bullish on freehold homes. All right. Did you get that reference, Andrew?
Yeah.
Where's it from?
Friends.
No, Friends. No, it's from Matthew McConaughey, Dazed and Confused.
All right.
I might be just doing it wrong. All right, regardless. Final prediction, and we're gonna go big on this one. Okay, so here we go. In the entire history of Ottawa real estate, all right, or ever, the highest ever monthly average sale price for condos was $478,014, and that was in March of 2022. Right, so the best month ever for condo prices. My 9th and final prediction is that we will break that record at some point in 2024. In other words, I predict that we'll have at least 1 month this year where the average sale price for condos is above $478,014. I really think condos are going to continue to grow in popularity here in 2024. Andrew, what do you think? Are we going to break that record or no?
Yeah.
Andrew also thinks we're going to break the record. All right, we are on the same page. To quickly recap here are our 9 bold or semi-bold, maybe, predictions for the Ottawa real estate market in 2024. 1, 5-year fixed rates remain lower than variable rates all year. The Bank of Canada lowers interest rates 3 times for a total of 1 to 1.5% in cuts. The average 5-year fixed rate is between 4.5% and 5% at the end of the year. We'll sell between 16,000 and 17,000 total homes in Ottawa this year. Over 30% of those homes are going to be condos. Freehold inventory stays below 4 months for the entire year. Condo inventory stays below 3.8 months all year. The monthly average selling price for freehold home stays above $700K all year. And last but not least, prediction number 9, we have at least 1 month in 2024 where the average sale price of a condo sets a new all-time record. Rest assured, we are going to keep track of these throughout the year, and I think it's going to be fun to see how many of them we ultimately get right, if any. Okay? Once again here, I will remind you that these predictions are just meant to be for fun. Please don't go making any life-altering decisions based on my wild-ass guesses, all right? Now, if instead of predictions, you're looking for actual real estate advice that is specific to your situation, I'm always happy to chat. You can access my calendar directly and book a discovery call with me at a time that works for you by simply using the Calendly link in this video's description. That will do it for this month. We've got a lot of work to do this year to do our part in making sure that my bullish predictions come true. So we're gonna get to it. Starting by selling the house I'm in right now, 1232 Foxborough Private. Check it out. As always, thank you for watching my videos. I'm Serge Papineau, and I'll see you next month.